if I told you your entire life could change in just 6 months? No excuses, no waiting, just 6 months of pure focus. You don't need more time. You need more intention. Because the truth is, 6 months of discipline can do more than 6 years of wishful thinking. This audiobook is about transformation, not temporary change, not surface-level motivation, but real, lasting growth. The kind that starts when you stop negotiating with your potential. If you've been stuck, distracted, or tired of waiting for the right time, this is your restart button. 6 months of clarity, discipline, and action. That's all it takes to rebuild your habits, your mindset, and your confidence. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a decision. And this audiobook will help you make it and stick to it. Welcome to Speak Smart English, the place where motivation meets learning. As you listen, you'll not only gain the mindset to transform your life, you'll also improve your English listening and understanding skills. Every audiobook here is designed to help you grow in confidence, in language, and in life. So whether you're here to level up your mindset or your English, you're in the right place. You don't need perfect conditions. You need a decision, and this audiobook will help you make it and stick to it. Chapter 1. Be honest. If you want to change your life in 6 months, you have to start with the hardest thing, facing the truth. Not the filtered version, not the story you tell others, the real truth, the one you've been avoiding. You can't build a better life while holding on to habits that quietly destroy your progress. You can't move forward while pretending everything's fine. And you definitely can't grow while protecting the very patterns that keep you stuck. So ask yourself honestly, what's holding me back every single day? What thoughts make me feel small? What choices do I keep repeating even though I know they're wrong? For some, it's procrastination. For others, it's comfort addiction. Food, scrolling, distractions. And for many, it's mindset. Constant doubt, fear, and self-sabotage. Sometimes it's the people around you. They don't want to grow. They laugh when you talk about change. They pull you back every time you try to move forward. But here's the truth. You're the one allowing it. You're the one saying yes when you should say no. You're the one avoiding conflict because it's easier than standing up for yourself. This is not about blaming. It's about owning your reality. Because once you do that, once you say, I'm done living this way, I know what's hurting me, and I'm not letting it stay, that's when your life begins to shift. Not when you buy a new planner, not when you watch another motivational video, but when you get real, when you stop lying to yourself, when you choose action over excuses. You already know what's draining your energy. You already know which habits leave you feeling guilty. You already know what you do when no one's watching. It's not complicated. It's just uncomfortable. But growth doesn't care about comfort. It cares about commitment. So take inventory. Write it down. Put it in front of your face. What behaviors are pulling you backward? What thoughts are stealing your confidence? What people are draining your focus? This is where change begins. Not with motivation, with honesty. Start today. Once you know what's wrong, start fixing it. Not all at once, just one step today. If social media eats your hours, log out. If junk food kills your energy, clean it up. If your evenings drain your momentum, change the routine. If your circle keeps you small, create space. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every time you remove something toxic, you make room for something better. And it's not just about what you do. It's about what you tolerate. Stop tolerating weak effort. Stop tolerating the same excuses. Stop tolerating the story that says, I can't. You haven't pushed yourself yet, but now you will. 6 months can change everything, but only if you're honest about what needs to change. Most people skip this part. They want the checklist, the routine, the shortcut, but none of it works if the foundation is broken. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start removing what you already know is wrong. That's when your strength returns. That's when your self-respect rebuilds. That's when your life starts to shift. You'll feel it in small ways first. More energy, better choices, a sense of pride, a belief that you can actually do this. And then, everything begins to change. But it starts with this. Be honest. Every day, ask yourself, what am I doing right now that helps me? What am I doing that hurts me? And be willing to face the answer. That's how you change your life in 6 months. Not by luck, not by chance, but by getting real, getting serious, and getting to work. You've already wasted enough time. Now it's time to change. And it begins by telling yourself the truth, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, because once you do that, you take your power back. And from there, anything is possible. Chapter 2. Break the habits that make you hate yourself. 1. Stop doing what makes you feel ashamed. If you want to change your life in 6 months, you must stop doing the things that make you feel worse about who you are. You already know what those habits are. The ones that leave you feeling tired, guilty, disappointed, or disconnected. You can't keep waking up every day doing things that silently break your confidence and expect your life to feel better. It won't, because every habit either builds you or breaks you. 2. Small habits become heavy chains. Most of these habits didn't start as problems. They were coping mechanisms. Comfort during chaos, distractions when life felt hard. But now they've turned into chains. You use them to hide, to delay, to avoid the life you know you're capable of. And every time you go back to them, something in you shrinks. That's not discipline. That's self-abandonment. Look in the mirror and tell the truth. You already know what's hurting you. How you treat your body. How you waste your time. How you avoid responsibility. How you numb your emotions instead of facing them. And once you admit it, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend these habits are harmless. They're not small. They're the reason you wake up tired. The reason you avoid what matters. The reason you don't respect yourself. You don't need perfection. You need honesty. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being tired of living in a version of yourself you don't admire. If you eat junk, scroll endlessly, skip workouts, avoid hard tasks, you won't like your life. And worse, you'll start to believe you don't deserve better. These habits train you to settle, to numb instead of process, to avoid instead of act. And slowly, they build self-hate. Not loudly, but quietly, consistently. 5. Stop negotiating with destructive patterns. You are capable. You're just buried under behaviors that were never meant to help you grow. And if you're going to break them, you must stop negotiating with them. No more just one more day. Every time you say that, you delay your future. Set a rule. No more actions that leave me feeling ashamed. That's where your self-respect begins to return. 6. Replace shame with strength, one habit at a time. Start small. Wake up and stretch instead of grabbing your phone. Drink water before coffee. Cook something clean instead of eating what drains you. Write your thoughts instead of avoiding them. These aren't massive changes, but they prove something powerful. You are not a slave to your habits. 7. Rewire your mind. Slowly, intentionally. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Your brain will resist. You'll feel the pull to go back to comfort. That's not weakness. That's programming. You've wired yourself to seek those behaviors. Now it's time to rewire. Pick one habit that makes you feel weak. Replace it. Stick with it for a week. Then add another. That's how you rebuild your foundation, slowly, but with intention. 8. Feel your power returning. As you break those habits, something shifts. Your thoughts get clearer. Your energy returns. Your emotions feel lighter. You stop carrying guilt. You start trusting yourself again. And that feeling, that trust, is the key to everything else. 9. Build the version of you that leads you. Don't hesitate. You don't need motivation. You don't second-guess your worth. You show up, because that's who you are now. You've built someone who's in control, someone who leads their own life. But none of this happens if you keep repeating the same destructive cycle. 10. Choose change, not later, but now. If you wake up tomorrow and do what you did today, you'll get the same results, same frustration, same disappointment. You owe it to yourself to live differently, not next year, not someday, now. You don't need a perfect plan. You need commitment. Match your habits to your vision. From this day forward, your habits must match your vision. Yes, it'll be uncomfortable. Yes, you'll want to quit. But that's the moment you double down, because change only happens when you stick with it long enough to see results. And 6 months is enough. 12. Become the person you admire. If you stay consistent for half a year, you'll become unrecognizable in the best way. But it starts with one choice. Stop doing what makes you hate yourself. Replace those habits with actions you're proud of. You'll still fail some days. That's okay. But you won't quit. You'll keep showing up. You'll keep rising. You'll keep building a version of yourself that reflects strength, clarity, and self-respect. And soon, the person you used to be, the one who hid behind bad habits, will be gone. In their place will be someone who leads, someone who lives with discipline, someone who owns their life. That's who you're building now. Keep going. You're not far from becoming. Chapter 3. Design a routine that builds the strongest you. 1. Growth doesn't happen by accident. If you want to grow, you can't leave your days to chance. Growth happens when you wake up with purpose and go to bed knowing you moved forward. That requires structure, not just activity. Not a routine that looks productive, but one that actually pushes you. 2. Build a routine that demands more. You need a routine that challenges you, holds you to a higher standard, pushes you to show up even when you don't feel like it. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, consistently, intentionally, and without excuses. 3. Clarity over chaos. Start by getting clear. What builds your energy? What improves your mindset? What protects your mental clarity? Most people start their day with distraction. They scroll, react, and lose their morning. But you can't lead your life if you don't lead your first hour. 4. Decide who you'll be before you wake up. Don't wait for motivation. Decide the night before what kind of person you'll be when the day starts. That's how you train your mind to follow direction, not emotion. You wake up and follow through, whether it's easy or not. That's how growth happens. 5. Simplicity builds strength. Don't overload your routine. You don't need 15 tasks. You need clarity, focus, and consistency. Choose a few things that stretch you. Move your body, fuel your energy, sharpen your thinking, strengthen your discipline. Growth isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, with purpose. 6. Own your morning before the world wakes up. Your first hour is sacred. Before the calls, before the noise, that's when you set your direction. Ask yourself, do I move my body? Do I clean my space? Do I fuel myself with the right food? Do I reflect, breathe, or write? If not, you're missing the chance to grow before the day even begins. 7. Work with focus, not distraction. When it's time to work, ask, am I doing what matters? Am I avoiding what's uncomfortable? Am I letting distractions run my day? Growth comes when you stop doing what's easy and start doing what's necessary. Your routine must include hard things, things that stretch your limits, things that build discipline. 8. Reflect daily or drift silently. Reflection isn't optional. You need time every day to ask, am I getting better? Am I proud of how I handled today? Skip reflection and you'll start drifting. Drift long enough and you'll feel lost. So take 10 minutes, ask the hard questions, stay connected to your direction. 9. Protect your evenings. They shape your mornings. You can't wake up strong if you go to sleep weak. If your nights are full of chaos, junk food, and mindless scrolling, don't expect your mornings to feel focused. Evenings are where you reset, where you recharge, where you prepare for the next step. Wind down with intention. Plan the next day. Protect your peace. 10. Pressure builds progress. Most people stay stuck because their routine is built for comfort, not growth. They skip the hard parts. They wait for motivation. They give in to excuses. That's why 6 months pass and nothing changes. Flip the script. Design a routine that demands more from you. 11. Discipline builds self-respect. Your routine should teach you to follow through. When it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's watching. That's how self-respect grows. That's how you get stronger. When you do what you said you'd do, even when quitting was easier, you start trusting yourself again. And when you trust yourself, your world starts changing. 12. Build a routine that becomes your identity. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a simple routine, done with commitment. Start with waking up at the same time, drinking more water, reading 10 pages, exercising for 30 minutes, cleaning your space, completing one important task. Do it with focus. Do it without excuses. Do it until it becomes normal. Then raise the bar. 13. Make growth your default. This is how growth works. You challenge the weaker version of you. You stay consistent until it becomes who you are. You show up, lead, and never skip the work. This is how you change everything in 6 months. Not by waiting, not by hoping, but by designing a routine that forces growth. A routine that leaves no room for excuses. A routine that brings out the strongest version of you, day after day. And when you stick to it, your life begins to shift. Not by luck, but by effort. By structure, by focus. Chapter 4. Choose progress over comfort. 1. Comfort is not your ally. Comfort feels safe. It feels familiar. But it's the same comfort that's been holding you back for years. Every time you choose ease over effort, you trade long-term growth for short-term relief. And that's why you're stuck. 2. You can't grow and stay comfortable. Growth demands something from you. Effort, discipline, decisions that stretch you. You can't evolve while clinging to convenience. Progress happens when you keep going, even when it's hard. 3. Your daily choices define you. Every day you face small decisions. Wake up or sleep in. Focus or scroll. Cook clean or order junk. Speak truth or stay silent. Push through or skip again. These moments shape your identity. Choose comfort and you stay the same. Choose progress and you build someone stronger. 4. Comfort feels good even when it's dangerous. Comfort doesn't come with a warning. It doesn't feel like failure, but it keeps you stuck. It slows you down. It makes you settle. It convinces you to wait for someday. But someday never comes. 5. Say no to what holds you back. Choosing progress means choosing discomfort. It means saying no when others say yes. It means working when you're not in the mood. It means being honest when excuses feel easier. That's what growth asks of you. 6. Progress builds what comfort never will. Progress isn't loud. It doesn't give instant results, but it gives you pride, strength, self-respect. You earn it by making decisions that build your future, not just maintain your present. 7. Recognize the pattern, then break it. Comfort has cost you more than it's given you. Think about the time you've spent choosing the easy way. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern, and you break it by doing something uncomfortable today. 8. Start with one hard thing. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Do it. Finish it, even if you don't feel like it. Then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, until it becomes your new normal. 9. Don't trust every thought. Your mind will try to stop you. You're too tired. You're too busy. It doesn't matter. But that voice isn't on your side. It's the voice that kept you stuck. You don't have to believe every thought. You choose what gets your energy. 10. Push through. That's where strength lives. When you push through discomfort, something shifts. You trust your strength. You build mental endurance. You create results from effort. That quiet confidence, the kind that comes from doing hard things, that's what changes everything. 11. Stop choosing the version that avoids effort. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to stop feeding the version of you that avoids effort. 13. Stay consistent, even when it feels slow. Some days, it'll feel like nothing's changing. You'll put in effort and see no return. Don't quit. Results don't follow your timeline. They follow your consistency. And when they come, they show up in how you think, how you carry yourself, and how you handle pressure. 14. Progress changes who you are. The real reward isn't just what you achieve, it's who you become. Discipline, confidence, focus. That's what progress gives you. Make a new rule. Choose growth. From now on, when you face a choice between comfort and growth, choose growth. Choose effort. Choose the decision that makes you stronger. Do it every day, even when you're tired, even when it's easier to sit back. Because every one of those choices builds something comfort never will. A life you can respect. That's what you're after. That's what this is all for. Not just change, but change that means something. Change that transforms the way you live. And you get there by doing the hard things, one decision at a time. You've wasted enough days in comfort. Now it's time to earn your progress. Chapter 5. Train your mind to stop chasing quick pleasure. 1. Quick pleasure is your energy drain. If you are serious about changing your life in 6 months, you have to stop chasing things that feel good for a minute, but cost you months or even years of progress. It's not that instant pleasure is always wrong. The problem is that most people have trained their minds to depend on it. They can't go an hour without reaching for a little hit of dopamine. Mindless scrolling on their phone. A snack they don't need. A show that helps them avoid reality. A gossip session that fills the silence but adds no value. These aren't small things. They are the constant leaks in your energy. 2. The cost of instant gratification. Quick pleasure requires zero effort. That's why it's so attractive. It gives you a reward now without making you earn it. But it comes with a heavy cost. You lose patience and focus. You start depending on instant fixes. You forget how to build anything that requires time. And anything worth building, your health, your discipline, your finances, your relationships, requires time, patience, and the ability to resist the easiest option. 3. Build tolerance for delayed gratification. You have to retrain your mind. You must build tolerance for delayed gratification. This means doing things today that won't pay off until much later. It means making choices that offer no instant reward. It means learning to sit in discomfort without immediately reaching for a distraction. Your brain is programmed for convenience. The entire modern world is built to steal your focus. You can't live like everyone else and expect different results. 4. The cycle of numbing versus growing. Most people live in a cycle. They wake up, scroll, avoid, overeat, complain, and repeat. They numb their stress instead of dealing with it. They look for the next easy fix instead of creating a long-term solution. And 6 months later, they wonder why nothing feels better. The shift begins when you decide that you want a better life more than you want temporary comfort. The pause and the question. Catch yourself in the moment when you are about to reach for something that adds no value. Pause, then ask yourself, what am I actually avoiding right now? Most of the time, quick pleasure is just a cover. It hides boredom, stress, insecurity, or fear. You cover up these feelings with stimulation, but that doesn't solve the problem. It only makes it grow. 6. Action. Stop being a slave to your urges. When you train your mind to stop chasing quick pleasure, you gain clarity. You realize how much time you spent numbing instead of growing. That awareness is powerful. Once you see it, you can change it. You don't have to live on autopilot or be a slave to your urges. You can create a life that runs on discipline, not impulse. Start with one area: how you use your phone, the food you reach for when stressed, the conversations you get pulled into. Every time you catch yourself going for something quick, ask again, is this helping me build the future I want? 7. The power to lead yourself. This mental training is not just about self-control, it's about power. The power to guide your own life. The power to stay grounded when the world distracts you. The power to stay focused when nothing exciting is happening. There is a huge difference between reacting to every urge and responding with clarity. When you react, you are led by habit. When you respond, you are leading yourself. Every time you delay quick pleasure, you create room for something better. More clarity, more energy, more self-respect. Look at your routine. Be honest. How much of your daily routine is built around avoiding effort? How much time goes into things that feel good now but lead to regret later? You are not stuck. You are following a path that needs to be changed. Train your mind to crave growth. Teach yourself to enjoy the process, even when it is slow. Remind yourself that the goal is not to feel good every second. The goal is to build a life that feels strong, meaningful, and clear. 9. Prove your vision is stronger than your craving. When you start saying no to what you used to reach for, you prove to yourself that your vision is stronger than your cravings. And that proof matters. It builds belief. It builds momentum. It's time to make decisions that stretch you instead of shrinking you. It's time to train your mind like your future depends on it. Because it does. Keep choosing the path that takes longer, feels harder, and gives more back. That's where your future is built. Chapter 6. Start doing the hard things you always avoid. 1. The change you're waiting for. The change you are looking for will only come when you stop running from the things you have been avoiding. Everyone has hard things they put off. A difficult conversation they don't want to have. A big decision they don't want to face. Work they know they need to do, but keep postponing. This avoidance adds up. It creates stress and frustration. Deep down, you know the answer. You are delaying the exact actions that would move your life forward. For the English learner, remember this phrase, I am delaying my progress. This helps you understand where you are stuck. The simple truth about hard things. The truth is simple. If something is hard, it probably matters. If it feels uncomfortable, it probably has value. Most people wait for the hard things to get easier, but they won't. They wait for the fear to disappear, but it never does. The only way it gets easier is by doing it, by facing it. You have to walk into it even while your hands shake and your mind tells you to run. That is how growth begins, not by avoiding difficulty, but by stepping right into it. The trap of comfort. When you make a habit of avoiding challenges, you train yourself to settle. You lower your standards. You become a person who only moves when it feels safe. That might keep you comfortable, but it will never make you proud. For the English learner, avoidance is the opposite of taking the lead. To lead your life, you must choose action over comfort. 4. Make your avoidance list. Start small. Make a list of the things you've been avoiding, the tasks you haven't finished, the conversation you haven't had, the messy space you haven't cleaned. Write them down clearly. These are the choices you have been putting off because they require effort or risk. Until you start checking them off, you will stay in the same place. You are not stuck because you are not capable. You are stuck because you are choosing easy over effort. 5. Break the habit of later. You finish each day knowing you avoided something important. That is why your confidence slips. Not because you failed, but because you didn't even try. You told yourself, "I'll deal with it later," and that lie becomes a habit. The only way to break that habit is through action. You take the first step. You do the hard thing today. You face what you've been avoiding directly. It will shift your momentum. For the English learner, focus on using the active phrase, "I will handle it now." This phrase is key to stopping procrastination. 6. Hard things are your training ground. Hard things are your training ground. They build character. They build grit, inner strength. They build respect for yourself. The people you admire didn't get there by avoiding struggle. They stepped into it. You have that same ability, but you won't find it until you challenge yourself. This is where discipline begins, not in perfect routines, but in uncomfortable choices. You answer the email. You pay the debt. You set the boundary. 6. You do the workout. You simply act. That habit alone can change everything. The fear is just a fog. You will learn something important when you start doing the hard things. They are never as bad as they seem in your mind. It's the anticipation that wears you out, not the task itself. Once you get into it, your mind focuses. And when it's done, you feel lighter, clearer, and in control again. You realize that fear was just a fog, and action cuts right through it. 8. Don't carry the weight of avoidance. When you avoid hard things, you carry more weight. You don't save energy by running from work. You spend more energy thinking about it, stressing about it, and punishing yourself for not doing it. That is a draining way to live. The 6 months ahead can change your life, but only if you start doing what you've been pushing aside. 9. Push yourself. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone to push you. Push yourself. Look at the task. Look at the problem. Do something about it. Start with the smallest part. Make the call. Take going until the hard thing is no longer something you fear, but something you finish. For the English learner, the concept here is no peace in procrastination. This powerful sentence is a great way to remember the main idea of this chapter. 10. You need action and courage. There's no growth in avoidance. There's no peace in procrastination. Do what needs to be done, even if it's hard, especially if it's hard. You don't need motivation. You need action. You don't need comfort. You need courage. And you don't need more time. You need to start now. Go face the thing you've been avoiding. Not tomorrow, today. That is where the change begins. Chapter 7. Build proof you can trust yourself again. 1. The quiet pain of broken promises. There is a quiet pain that builds up when you stop trusting yourself. It starts when you say you'll do something, but then you don't follow through. You promise to wake up early, but you hit snooze. You say you'll start eating better, but by the evening, you slip back into old habits. You promise to work on your goals, but you choose distractions instead. These might seem like small decisions, but over time, they break something inside you. Not just momentum, but belief. And without belief, you stop trying. You start settling. You stop seeing yourself as someone who can be relied on. The fix. Stop talking, start proving. The good news is, you can fix this. Not by talking about change, not by planning it, but by building proof. Proof that you can trust yourself again. This trust is not a feeling or a sudden burst of motivation. Trust is built through repeated action. You can rebuild this trust one step at a time. You set a promise that you know you can keep. It doesn't need to be massive, just meaningful. Then you do it. You don't wait to feel ready. You get it done because you said you would. Every choice is a message. That one act starts the process. You do it again the next day, and the next. Each time, something quiet shifts inside you. You stop second-guessing yourself, because now you have evidence. Every decision becomes a message to yourself. When you quit halfway, you tell yourself your words don't mean much. When you push through, even when it's hard, you prove that your effort is real. Your brain starts paying attention and changes the story it tells about who you are. The only way to change your internal story is through consistent action. You don't talk your way into a new identity, you act your way into it. For the English learner, think of yourself as a detective building a case. Your actions are the evidence. Your goal is to gather so much evidence that your belief in yourself becomes unbreakable. Start simple. Stay consistent. Start with something simple. If you said 6:30 a.m., then 6:30 a.m. it is. You get up and move. If you promised yourself a 30-minute workout, you finish it. If you said no junk food for today, you hold that line. These acts matter more than you think. They are about rebuilding a relationship with yourself. You can't expect to respect yourself if you keep disappointing yourself. That is not discipline. That is self-betrayal. Get back on track immediately. There will be moments when you slip. You'll miss a day. You'll want to start over. That's part of it. But even in those moments, you don't fall back into the old pattern. You don't wait for a new week or a new month. You get back on track immediately. That's how you prove to yourself that you don't need to quit every time something isn't perfect. You're not starting over. You're continuing forward. The feeling of real belief. The more you keep going, the more real belief you build. Not borrowed hype, but the kind of belief that shows up in your posture and your tone. The kind that makes you walk into challenges with quiet certainty. This kind of proof is not instant, but it compounds. It grows stronger with each act of follow-through. You are working toward a version of yourself that you don't question anymore. This version of you doesn't make excuses, doesn't rely on hype, shows up and keeps promises. Your power is in your accountability. There is a powerful feeling that comes with knowing you can depend on yourself. You stop chasing validation. You live with peace because you know the truth about who you are and how you show up. If you have lost trust in yourself, start doing something about it today. Not by making more promises, but by keeping the ones already in front of you. Choose one thing, keep it, then do it again. Stack those wins. Create your own evidence. This is how you change in 6 months, by becoming someone whose actions align with their words. Someone who doesn't break their own trust anymore. That version of you is waiting. Now it's time to earn it. Chapter 8. Remove people who drain your drive to improve. 1. The power of your environment. One of the most important decisions you'll ever make is who you choose to allow into your space. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Some people don't come to support you. They come to distract you, to drain your energy, or to keep you exactly where you are. If you are serious about growing, about building something meaningful, then you need to pay close attention to who is around you. 2. The cost of low-growth relationships. The truth is, not all relationships are healthy. Some are built on comfort, not growth. Some are built on history, not alignment. If you keep surrounding yourself with people who don't want to change, laugh at your discipline, roll their eyes at your goals, then eventually you will start shrinking to fit their version of reality. You'll lose your edge, your ambition, and your fire. You'll stop showing up the way you know you need to. 3. You must protect your mind. Growth takes energy, clarity, and consistency. You cannot stay focused if you are constantly pulled into conversations that lower your standards. You cannot stay committed if you are surrounded by people who question your discipline. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself honestly, do they challenge you to grow, or do they give you permission to stay the same? After spending time with them, do you feel focused and clear, or tired and distracted? These questions are not small. They determine whether you build a powerful life or waste years in a cycle of mediocrity. 4. Outgrowing your past. Sometimes the hardest part about growth is realizing that you've outgrown certain people. That doesn't make them bad. It just means you are going in a different direction. If you want to keep moving forward, you cannot keep holding on to relationships that belong to your past. You have to make space. You have to clear the path. You know exactly who these people are. You feel it in your gut when you are around them. You feel drained, not energized. You feel like you have to hide your goals or constantly explain yourself. 5. Fear disguised as advice. When you grow, you force people to look at themselves. Not everyone wants to do that. So instead of rising with you, they try to pull you back. That pressure is fear disguised as advice. You have to decide. If you want comfort, keep everyone around, keep saying yes, and keep listening to opinions that add no value. If you want clarity, focus, and real change, then it's time to clean up your circle. 6. Action. Create space and reclaim your energy. You don't have to make a big announcement. You simply stop giving your time to the wrong people. You stop making room for conversations that lead nowhere. You stop answering calls that drain you. It's not about hate. It's about boundaries. It's about choosing peace over chaos, progress over stagnation. Once you start doing this, you get your energy and your mental clarity back. You are no longer filtering your goals through someone else's fear. You just start moving and building. 7. Build your new standard. Yes, it can feel lonely at first, because when you leave the noise, you create silence. But in that silence, you find yourself. You reconnect with your vision. You get to build your own standard again without anyone dragging it down. You will also start attracting new people, people who speak the same language, who value discipline, and who hold you accountable. But those people won't show up until you make space for them. 8. Protect your growth. Your circle is either helping you evolve or holding you down. If someone consistently drains you, distracts you, or makes you feel smaller, it's your responsibility to do something about it. Your time is limited. You can't waste it explaining why you are trying to change. Your future is not a group project. You don't owe access to anyone who doesn't value your effort to grow. This is your season to build and to rise. Never allow someone to dim your light just because they are afraid to shine their own. Your growth is worth protecting. You are not being harsh. You are being honest. and honesty is the highest form of self-respect. Chapter 9. Take ownership of every choice you make today. 1. Your choices build your reality. The way your life turns out will come down to the choices you make every single day. Not just the big ones, but all of them. The small, quiet ones when no one's watching. The uncomfortable ones you try to avoid. These are the choices that shape your direction. And until you learn to take full ownership of those choices, without blaming, avoiding, or shifting responsibility, nothing meaningful will change. Ownership is not about guilt. It's about accepting that your life is a direct reflection of what you decide to do with your time, your energy, and your focus. 2. Stop giving your power away. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are making choices every day that are building your reality. Every day, you decide how you spend your time, how you treat your body, whether you keep that promise to yourself or break it. If you keep saying, "I didn't have time," or "that's just how things are," you are giving your power away. You are choosing a story that says you are not in control. Your power lives in the decision to stop making excuses and start taking full responsibility for everything you can control. 3. The truth about later. You have to stop waiting for something outside of you to change. A better job, a perfect moment. The moment you are waiting for doesn't exist. Ownership means stepping into the truth that everything you do today matters. Not next year, not someday, today. If you skip your workout, avoid your goals, and waste hours on distractions, and then tell yourself you had no choice, that's not ownership, that's avoidance. But once you decide, "I chose that," something shifts. You stop lying to yourself, and you use that discomfort to change. 4. Ownership means you can change. Ownership means you stop blaming people for the things you keep choosing. If someone disrespects you and you let it slide, that's your choice. If you stay in a place that drains your energy, that's your choice. It is hard to admit, but it is freeing. Once you own your part, you can change your part. You stop waiting for someone else to fix it, and you take the lead. No one owes you discipline. No one can force you to care. That's on you. 5. Ownership in action. Stop being casual with your choices. They are not small. They shape your outcomes. Start small, today. When you wake up, choose your attitude. Choose your behavior. If you say you're going to eat clean, then do it. If you commit to working for 2 hours, then finish. Don't rely on motivation. Just follow through. That is ownership in action. 6. Learn and adjust. You will feel stronger the more you do this, because you stop avoiding what needs to be done. And when things go wrong, and they will, you don't panic. You look at it honestly. You ask, "Where did I fall short?" You learn. You adjust. You improve. That's what ownership allows you to do. It keeps you moving forward. It finds a solution instead of getting stuck in blame. For the English learner, when you make a mistake, don't say, "It's my bad luck." Instead, say, "I take accountability. I will adjust." This shows confidence and control. 7. Your future depends on today. When you take full ownership of your choices, you begin to respect yourself, not because you are perfect, but because you are accountable. You choose the hard thing when it leads to growth. You choose the honest path, even when it's uncomfortable. You choose to act like your future depends on what you do today, because it does. You get to decide how this next chapter plays out. You can keep blaming, or you can step up, take the lead, and start making decisions that match the life you say you want. That's the moment everything begins to shift. Not when circumstances change, but when you do. When you stop running from responsibility and start taking control. That's how you change your life in 6 months. That's how you take your power back. And you do it one choice at a time. Chapter 10. The 6-month reset. You are the architect. First, the end of negotiations. You have reached the final chapter. If you have listened closely, you know that the 6-month change you desire does not depend on luck, but on design. You are the architect of your life, and you now hold the blueprint. The greatest shift has already happened. You stopped negotiating with your potential. 2. The new foundation is set. Your foundation is no longer built on hope, but on proof. Every small win, waking up on time, avoiding the scroll, facing a hard task, has laid a strong stone. Remember what those stones mean. The discipline. You lead yourself, not your emotions. The clarity. You know what to do and why you are doing it. The ownership. You stop blaming and you start fixing. Chapter 9. This is the power you have reclaimed. You don't need permission from anyone to be great. You just need to show up for yourself consistently. 3. Why consistency is your superpower. Some days you will put in maximum effort and see minimum result. This is where most people quit. They think growth is instant, but it's not. Growth is compounding. Think of a steam engine. It takes huge energy to start moving, to push past that initial resistance. Once it's moving, it takes less energy to keep going. Your 6-month reset is the time to build that initial, unstoppable momentum. Don't wait for motivation to pull you. Use discipline to push you. Don't quit on day 20 just because the results aren't clear. They are happening in your mind and your spirit first. Your final call to action. The life you want, the clear mind, the strong body, the successful work, is already waiting for you on the other side of this commitment. This is your new rule. Finish what you start. Every promise you make to yourself, you keep. Every habit you broke, you keep broken. Every choice between easy and hard, you choose the hard one that leads to growth. For the English learner, the phrase, "on the other side," is used to talk about the reward that comes after hard work or difficulty. Your success is on the other side of your 6-month commitment. 5. The future belongs to the doer. Your future will not be defined by the goals you wrote down. It will be defined by the action you repeated. You have wasted enough time living on autopilot. You have had enough short-term comfort. Now, it is time to try something else. It is time to make decisions that stretch you, not shrink you. You have the plan. You have the mind. Your 6-month reset starts now. Go build a life you can respect. You deserve it. Final call to action. The end of listening, the start of doing. You've finished the audiobook. You've heard the plan. Now the listening stops and the action begins. The next 6 months are a challenge you set for yourself. Don't let this book just be another piece of information you listen to. Make it the moment you decided to change your life. For the English learner, the phrase "the ball is in your court" means it is your turn to act or make a decision. The choice is yours now. Your first 5-minute challenge. You don't need a massive new goal. You need to start with the evidence you already have. Take 5 minutes right now. 1. Be honest. Chapter 1. Write down one thing you are currently avoiding that you know is draining your energy. 2. Take ownership. Chapter 9. Decide that you will handle that one thing today, not tomorrow. 3. Build proof. Chapter 7. Do the first small step of that task immediately after this audio ends. Join the community and continue your growth. To help you stay consistent and focused during your 6-month reset, we've created a space just for you. If you are serious about continuing your journey, both in self-mastery and in improving your English, here's what you do next. Subscribe, Click the subscribe button to ensure you receive weekly lessons that keep your focus sharp and your momentum high. Share your start. Tell us in the comments what one hard thing you are tackling first. Sharing your intention creates accountability. Level up your English. For practice on the key phrases, vocabulary, and concepts from this audiobook, check out the resources linked in the description below. The final word. Remember the core lesson of this book. Your future is not a group project. It is your responsibility. You have the tools. You have the choice. Go show yourself what you are capable of. Start your 6-month reset now. We'll see you in the next lesson.